You ready? In 2026 or in 2016, while working for a private equity firm in Manhattan, Candace Owens stopped paying rent on her $3,500 per month luxury apartment. Despite paying no rent, she continued living there for another 6 months, then sued the landlord for the apartment having black mold, which she claimed made her very ill. This is the photo she submitted as evidence that she suffered from eczema and other ailments. Candace couldn't produce an expert witness to support her allegations, which the court concluded were a crock of shit. When the landlord countersued, she lost and was ordered to pay $17,719 in an unpaid rent plus her landlord's legal expenses. This is where that photo came from. Let's continue. Okay, some very interesting details about Candace Owens' history here. So, the face of Blexit was apparently a victim of coordinated racial abuse campaigns multiple times throughout her youth, which even implicated her school and the police. This is what her claim to fame is, right? This is her claim to fame. 2005, Candace Owens alleges that she was attacked by 3 white girls from her high school while working at Blockbuster. She claims they stomped on her while screaming racial slurs. Owens asserts that they were jealous of her boyfriend, that the attack was eventually stopped by the manager. She alleges the girls were charged with breach of the peace, illegal restraint, and intimidation by bias or bigotry. These claims never appear in her books, despite numerous articles from 2008 to 2016 about her NAACP lawsuit against the school. I couldn't find anywhere this alleged incident is mentioned. Then the claims suddenly emerges in the 2023 when Vanity Fair profiles her. The story cites actions by 3 girls, a lawyer, and the manager, but gives no names that could allow someone to verify the story. February 2007, Candace Owens and Evan Kopech, both students at Stanford High in Stamford, Connecticut, engaged in a screaming match at school. Kopech has been described as her former boyfriend over the years. However, local media articles are either ambiguous or only refer to him as a friend. Owens then says Kopech masterminded a multi-person campaign of racial harassment, resulting in her getting voicemail messages with death threats and N-words. She accused the police and the school of protecting the perpetrators because she fingered the son of the mayor of Stamford. The mayor's son said he did not know who Owens or Kopech were. The NAACP sued the school on behalf of Candace Owens. 2008, the school district paid her $37,500 to drop the lawsuit, probably because it would have cost them much more to defeat the lawsuit in court. Stanford Mayor Daniel P. Malloy went on to become the governor of Connecticut. No one ever admitted to any wrongdoing. Owens alleges that the event caused her to develop a severe eating disorder. 2009 to 2014, Owens enrolled at the University of Rhode Island, where she majored in journalism. She dropped out of during her 3rd year. She says college got her addicted to Adderall, and it was too expensive. Afterwards, she alleges she worked at a Wall Street professional in Manhattan, says she worked for Vogue magazine after dropping out of college. Then she says she was an administrative assistant's job in a private equities firm and was rapidly promoted up the ladder to vice president of administration. Late 2015, Candace Owens launched Degree 180, a left-wing girl boss website. It featured a variety of content, some of which is anti-Trump, anti-Tea Party, anti-male, anti-white, anti-Gamergate. It also featured the articles about sex and celebrity gossip. Okay, look at this. Her skin doesn't look all that different here. I believe this is from the press conference relating to her original Mean Girl high school lawsuit grift. She's surrounded by NAACP lawyers. Let's continue. Okay, let's continue. Kopech. Okay. Now, I'm going to stay on top of this. Let's look at it. In light of this, In light of this, it makes sense that Candace's father hired such an unscrupulous lawyer, Norman Pattis, who is typically associated with bigger, more high-profile cases, to handle her lawsuit against the Stanford Board of Education. He's a CIA reject like Tucker Carlson. No. So this is Norman Pattis, worried about your masculinity. Okay. Okay. I applied for a job with the Central Intelligence Agency. I hope to become an operations officer, a spy. After almost a year of tests, interviews, a background examination, and still more tests, I faced the last hurdle separating me from a life of intrigue, the polygraph exam. A man in his early 30s led me down a long corridor on first floor of CIA headquarters at Langley. We turned into a small room, I'd say about 9 feet by 10 feet, which had a mirror covering half of one wall. In the middle of the room was a desk, and on it sat the polygraph machine. My interrogator explained how the machine worked. It would measure my blood pressure, perspiration on my fingertips, and rate of respiration as I responded to a series of questions. Within minutes, I was strapped in with sensors attached to my fingers, a strap slung across around my chest, and the blood pressure cuff firmly in place. The first questions were routine, designed to give my interrogator a set of baseline readings. Was I Norman Pattis? Was I wearing shoes? Was I born in Chicago? Once the preliminaries were finished, we got down to business. I answered the questions truthfully, including the following question: had I had a homosexual encounter since the age of 18? The answer was no. My interrogator removed the tape from the machine and told me he'd be right back, that he wanted to be interpreted. When he closed the door, as he left, I heard two sets of doors close and two sets of footsteps going down the hall. They were sounds I would often hear that day. My hunch about the purpose of the mirror was confirmed. When he returned, he told me we had a problem with the question. I told him that I had answered truthfully, but the tape didn't support me. He said if I wanted to pass the exam, I had to satisfy the tape. He said he tried to devise a question that would allow me to pass. Had I considered homosexuality? Yes. Several of my friends were gay, and I had asked myself whether theirs was an experience I would like to share, but something in me wouldn't warm to the idea. He asked, have you ever worried about your masculinity? A difficult question to answer, in part because I didn't know what it meant, in part because I had never really thought that much about what it means to be a man. Exasperated, I finally told the interrogator that I didn't know what he was looking for and that I had no idea how I respond to a midlife crisis. I don't know how many times he and his colleagues walked down the hall to compare notes on my performance, but after I had told all I cared to and was still found wanting, my anger spilled over. To the best of my memory, I said, at this point, I can only conclude one of two things. Either the polygraph is unreliable or I'm a latent homosexual and you and an army of Sigmund Freuds aren't about to pry it out of me. On that note, we broke for lunch. Things didn't improve much in the afternoon. Something I'd ever disappointed. Oh, had I ever disappointed anyone? Of course I had. I can't imagine who hasn't. Had I ever broken the law? Yes. What laws had I broken? Well, I think I blushed. I admitted to driving an automobile without a license for about a year. More lazy and stupid than villainous. My wife and I lived in New York, and the prospect of waiting online in the city to renew a license dawned on me. I now have a license, although I lived in Connecticut for a year before I finally got one. What about drugs, alcohol? Nothing major there. A curious youth, but no addict. My interrogator was incredulous. You mean to say you go to school at Columbia University and live in New York City and you haven't been offered cocaine at a party at one of your professor's houses? I laughed. I guess he didn't know anything about. Interesting. Why would her father hire this guy? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yes, Robert Pattis was recruited by the CIA, wrote an article claiming he was rejected, hired by Candace Owens' father, who had contracts for cleanup at Sandy Hook Elementary, represented Candace Owens in her BS lawsuit against the school board, then later represented Alex Jones in his Sandy Hook fake lawsuit. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Make of this what you will. Well, before Candace was a right wing grifter, and even before she was a left wing grifter, she lied about having to drop out of the University of Rhode Island because her family was poor and she couldn't pay back student loans. She was always a con artist. Here she is claiming to grow up in poverty, even though she's from Stamford, Connecticut, which is very affluent. Okay. I am a black woman who grew up in poverty. Donald Trump is not a racist. He cares for all Americans. The leftist media narrative is being pushed by the true racists, the Democrat leaders who want to keep our communities poor and hopeless in exchange for votes. Okay. This is back in 2018. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I used to dream big because of Mark Cuban. Back when I had $10 and 100K in student loans, he inspired me to embrace failure, to accept every no on the road to yes. We don't agree on politics, but we do agree on the importance of dreams. But even supposing she did live in poverty, there are poor people in Stanford. She would have qualified for 100% student financial aid, even for attending an out of state school. She would not have been saddled with 100K in debt by her third year. Finally, if you still need to take out student loans, you don't have to pay them back until well after leaving school. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, it's on. It's up. It's up. Erica Kirk versus Candace Owens. What is this? Oh, this is part of that lawsuit. Oh, this is the lawsuit she sued for the mold, right? Apparently, the mold, respiratory ailments, coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath, GI complications, eczema, atopic dermatitis, asthma, allergy symptoms, including rash over the entire body, impacted suramen in the left ear, extreme fatigue, inability to think clearly, causing anxiety and depression, systemic yeast infections, scars requiring laser removal. Wow. Man, she really be out here grifting, huh? I have an employee who's sick because of black mold from a previous house. This is very easy to prove that you have it because doctors do test. Okay. All right, man. Y'all got it, man. We here for it. We here for it. Okay, let's go here.
Hey guys, it is Candace Owens, the founder of socialautopsy.com.
There are literally thousands of instances of hate speech being circulated online. The age of technology and social media has slowly disintegrated individual accountability, the consequences of which are devastating. Introducing Social Autopsy, the first ever search database that compiles and allows the public to easily access the digital footprint of individuals and companies. Our team has crawled through the public interfaces of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, creating real profiles for the individuals that lob hate speech over the web. These individuals are your teachers, doctors, neighbors, and
Isn't
business
this doxing?
And for the first time ever, you will be given the chance to run a real background check on them to see what these people represent behind closed doors. Let me show you how it works. Plug in the name of any person, company, or organization. Our database will return any number of profile hits, which can then be narrowed down by city and state. When you've located a user, you will be brought to their autopsy report, which will consist of real screenshots of words that they have shared across social media platforms. Have someone that you'd like to add to our morgue? Submit them. Our database is continually grown by anonymous submissions from individuals like you. Because why engage in an online back-forth argument with friends over insulting statuses and comments when you can instead screenshot their harsh words and privately submit them to our database? We exist as a clean archive of an individual's words.
This is doxing, right?
And universities alike may draw their own conclusions.
What about minors? We are seeing a lot of people that are showing concern for minors. We stand by the fact that we think the best time to be on our database is when you are a minor, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We are trying to affect their conscience when they're young, so they know to use the internet more responsibly when they're older. There's no harm, no foul really if you're a minor, right? You have this profile for 365 days, you're not applying to college, you're not going out for a job. It doesn't do anything to affect your livelihood in any way. So we think that that's really honestly the best time for people to learn. How long do profiles last? Good question. Profiles last for 365 days. After a 1-year span, if the user that has been submitted hasn't done anything else, hasn't really said anything that's bad, we totally believe in forgiveness and second chances, and we will drop their name from our database forever.
Simply put,
Wow.
Social Autopsy is your digital footprint, so be mindful of the words that you share.
Wow. Did you know Candace Owens started a doxing website in 2016? Beyond hilarious, 10 years later, Candace Owens is outraged people are being incentivized to speak out against her online hate speech. What? Woke left to woke right. What an evolution. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Candace Owens came full circle in 2023. She dedicated an entire episode to spreading lies about one of Andrew Tate's alleged trafficking victims. Owens even beeped the name of Keith Fox, who was convicted of molesting this girl as a minor, protecting Fox's identity while saying the name of the victim over 100 times and sharing many private details about this girl in that episode. Old habits die hard. No. Okay. Hey, man, I'm here for it. Okay. Here we go. All right, here we go. You ready? Erica and I had an extremely productive 4.5-hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. We agreed much more than I had anticipated. Of course, we also disagreed on various points and people as well. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. I will, of course, have a full rundown for you all tomorrow, as I am currently exhausted, but I wanted to quickly let you guys know that absolutely nothing was held back, and the immediate result was that tensions were thawed. So, once again, I believe her and Charlie Kirk had a relationship, but Charlie said, nope, I can't do this with a black woman. I got to be with a white woman. Okay. Oh, let's go here. This isn't an update. It's a damage report wrapped in diplomacy. 4.5 hours is how long it took to stitch the two signal assets back together. They didn't meet to reconcile. They met to resync, to clarify the edges of the script. Okay, someone's talking my language. To reassign intent before the glitch spread too far. Intel was shared. Nothing was held back. More agreement than expected. These aren't phrases from a tweet. They're phrases from a recovery protocol. You're not being told what happened. You're being told what to feel. That the tension has thawed. That the storm passed. That trust can resume. But the real question is, who issued the order to seal the rift before the next act aired? This wasn't a peace talk. It was an edit session live from the control room. Hey, yeah, I'm with that. I like the way this guy thinks. This was my first thought. Matter of fact, let me go and retweet that. That's my first thought. Okay. I'm here for it. Okay, we'll know tomorrow, y'all. We'll go over what she says tomorrow. Okay. But I don't know why y'all acting like Candace has the power to take down the deep state or whatever. Like, you mean to tell me she gonna do more than Bill Cooper? She's gonna do more than Ted Gunderson? These guys are heroes for what they did, and it cost them their lives. My thing is this: if you're still alive, breathing, talking about this, you're a controlled asset. The heroes get killed. The heroes don't live long enough to see their works fulfilled. So I don't care what y'all say. If you're on his internet talking that smack about, I'm exposing everybody, and you're still breathing, you're controlled opposition. You're an asset.